what happens from humans is treif, and then he says also all other creatures. Also all other creatures what? It's the same as this or the same as that. It didn't say. Okay. Did you see Chaim Berkowitz sent this thing with all the misread, he sent this text, all the things that you could read wrong. Like something, the farmer lets you walk through his field for free, but the bull charges. Things like, like all those things like, so here we have, like, it doesn't say what it's referring to. The Gemara has a question. Is he talking about also other creatures? Is saying that that's what happens from heaven and it's kosher? Or is he saying that's what happens from humans and that's treif? So Tashma, come and listen. The Tanya was taught in the Braisa. Charusa b'dei adam treifa. Charusa, if it's shriveled because of human causes, that's a treifa. Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, af bidei kol abrius. Shimon ben Elazar clearly, there was only one statement here. Reb Shimon ben Elazar says also, in the hands of all creation.
So, it would be treifa.
It means that it's a continuation of an addition to humans. Rabbi Bar Chana have a kazal b'madbra. This sounds like it's going to be an interesting story. Rabbi Bar Chana has all those wild, fantastic stories, but it's not. This is a regular halacha. He was walking in the desert. Ashkach hanu dichri. He finds these rams. The tzamek reyadidhu, that their lungs were shriveled. Asa shal bei midrash. He comes to the Beis Medrash. Amalei, they tell him, b'kaita, if it's in the summer, aisim eshich li chivri, bring these white containers, malinu maya kriir, fill it with cold water, va'anchinu me'es leis, and put the lung in it for 24 hours. Ihadron barian b'dei shemayim. If it comes back to its normal size, then it must have been that it happened because of heaven, ukshera, and that's kosher. Eily, but if it doesn't return to its normal size, then it's treifa. Besitva, if it's in the winter. So aisim meshich lishchumi, then you bring these darkened vessels. Rashi says maybe the difference between the white and the dark is copper or cheres. The difference is how warm, what the temperature of the water is going to be. Malinu mayi, fill it up with water, pshure of lukewarm water, vanchinu me'es leis, you leave it for 24 hours. Yajabari, if it returns to its size, kshera, then it's kosher v'loi, and if it doesn't return to its size, treifa, because we'll assume that it happened because of human causes. Hagluda. Next case. If the skin was removed for whatever reason, either because of illness or because of work, and the skin peeled off. So, Tana Rabbanan, there was a brisa that says, Hagluda Reb Meir Machsher. If the skin peeled off, Reb Meir says it's still kosher. The Chachamim Paislim. The Chachamim say that it's puzzle. Ukvar Heyed, and it was already testified by Elazar Safra, Elazar the Sefer. Do we have a Sefer here, Eily and Elazar? Elazar Safra. Yechanan ben Gudgaida. Where's Yechanan ben Gudgaida? It sounds so familiar.
It says here they were in the Bais Hamikdash.
They testified, ala gluda shepsula, that it's possible if the skin was removed. Amar Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Reb Shimon ben Elazar says, Chazabay Reb Meir. Reb Meir also retracted. Mechlal, that implies the Reb Shimon ben Elazar polygram Meir begluda, that if he retracted, he must have held that at one time he argued, and he retracted, and now he holds that it's not kosher. That means originally he held that it was kosher.
How much skin and what skin?
That we're going to discuss in a minute, if it's entirely removed. It sounds right here that the whole thing was peeled off. They said in the kindergarten they were learning about the purpose of the skin, infection. They asked this kid, "What is the skin? What's the purpose of the skin?" So he said, "It keeps the people that look at you from throwing up." So, anyway, that's what we're talking about. You have an animal without any skin on it. So we quoted a brisa that Rameir says it's kosher. The Chacham say it's not. Reb Shimon ben Elazar, who's a student of Reb Meir. Shimon ben Elazar says, that Reb Meir retracted. Shimon Elazar would be down here. So this is Rabbi Akiva's students, Reb Meir. Shimon ben Elazar is a student of Reb Meir. He says, Chazer by Reb Meir, that Reb Meir retracted. So if he retracted, that means that at one time he held that it was kosher. We're going to have a problem with this. Even though we have a brisa before, but we're going to have a problem. V'hatanya, we're starting a brisa from Shimon ben Elazar, Leinechleku Reb Meir v'chacham ala gluda shepsula. Reb Shimon ben Elazar says, Reb Meir and the chachamim never argued about an animal that the skin was peeled at its puzzle. Ukvar heyed Rabbi Shir b'nai shel Rabbi Yehuda habaisam l'fnei Rabbi Akiva mishum Reb Tarfon. Rabbi Shir, the son of Rabbi Yehuda habaisam, means he was a spice merchant. And he testified in front of Rabbi Akiva. We have a lot of descriptions here. Rabbi Elazar the scribe, Rabbi Yehuda the spice merchant, in the name of Reb Tarfon, that regarding the animal that the skin was peeled off, shepsula, that it's not kosher. V'mnishtaya by kesela kshera, but if there is one coin size of skin that's left, then it's kosher. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman Yitzchak answers this because we said that Reb Shimon ben Elazar says that Reb Meir never argued. He says, "My nechlika." What does it mean they never argued? Layamad Rabbi Meir b'machlekos. It doesn't mean they never argued. It means that Reb Meir did not retain the argument, didn't hold on to the argument. Lei nechlika means they stopped arguing, not that they never argued. Okay, that's the answer to the question. Amar Mar. It was taught before, the master said, in the Shtayr by Kesela Ksher, we said Amar Mar is quoting a brisa, so we're going back to the brisa. If there's a coin of the size of a sela, skin that's left, it's kosher. Heicha, where does that skin need to be? We're imagining now that the skin can regenerate off, where if the skin is in a certain place, that skin would continue to grow, the cells would replicate. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Rav Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel, Al Pnei HaShedra Kula, it's along the spine. And we said, how big does it need to be? We said it needs to be the size of a sela. So the Gemara says, you have a question. Are we talking about a very thin line that if we would wrap it all up, we would have, it needs to be along the spine, you would have the size of a coin? Are we talking about that it's the width of a sela along the whole spine? Is it a thin line that if you would push it all together, you would get the size of a coin? Or is the whole spine the size of a coin, the width of the coin going down? Didn't say, it was unclear. Tashma, come listen. The Parish, Rab Nahiroi Mishmei de Shmuel. Rab Nahiroi explained in the name of Shmuel. Rab Nahiroi is in the Mishnah is Rabbi Meir, according to some opinions. This is an Amoira. It says in the name of Shmuel, Bereichav Kesel al Pnei HaShedra Kula. Along the whole spine, it needs to be the size of the coin. Rabbi Bar Bachana Amar Rashi Prakim. Rabbi Bar Bachana says the skin needs to be at the edges of the joints. Along the joints, that's where the skin needs to remain. Rabbi Elazar ben Antignus, Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Yanai Amar Makam Tibure. It's interesting because I can just imagine that skin along a joint would be more difficult to regenerate because you keep moving it, so you keep messing up the. So if the skin is on the joint, if the joints have the skin, then the rest would regenerate easier, and that's what Rabbi Bar Bachana says, that as long as the skin is on the joints, so then the rest will fill in. Rabbi Elazar ben Antignus says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Yanai, Makam Tiburi, the skin needs to be on the center, on the navel, and that would regenerate. Boy Rabbi Yanai Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Yanai Rabbi Yishmael asks, Nitl Makam HaShedra v'kulekayim, Nitl Makam Tiburi v'kulekayim, Nitl Rashi Prakim v'kulekayim. My, we just gave where the coin needs to be, that size of skin needs to be. Let's say it's exactly the opposite. Let's say the entire body has all its skin. It's only missing the joints, it's only missing the navel, and it's only missing a size of an isser along the spine. Exactly the things that we said was necessary. Let's say that's exactly the parts that are missing. Gemara says teku. That we don't have an answer for. Amar Rav. Rav says kol ha'or kulei matzel begluda. So Rav says any skin would save a gluda animal. Gluda is the skin's peeled, it will regenerate if the skin is anywhere. Chutz mi'ar beis process, except for the hoofs. Is that how they translate beis process? The hoofs.
Yeah.
Rabbi Yochanan Amar afilu ar beis process. Rabbi Yochanan, he's in Israel. He says even the same generation as Rab, he says even the ar from the hoofs. Nami matzel, that would also save. Boy minei Rabasi Rabbi Yochanan. Rabasi asked from Rabbi Yochanan, or beis process ma'oshi yatzel begluda. Will it save? Will the skin of the hoofs save the animal, that it will regenerate because it has a little bit of skin on the hoofs? Amalei matzel. Rabbi Yochanan responded to Rabasi, yes, it will save. Amalei, they said to him, Rabasi says to Rabbi Yochanan, Limadatanu Rabbeinu, our master, you taught us, Eily sherisem ki besaron, that there are certain skins that are the same as the flesh, and our beis process is one of them. Here we're talking about, as we'll see, we'll learn further, we'll see. So how could you say the skin is like the flesh, the skin of the hoof is like the flesh, and then say that skin is like the skin, and it's going to it's going to save the whole animal because it's going to regenerate. That skin is not really skin. That skin is like flesh. Amalei al takniteni, don't bother me. Like don't annoy me. This takniteni is like a nuisance. Shabalashin yachad ani shaina. I taught that Mishnah that you're quoting. I taught it as an opinion that everyone else argues on. You're quoting to me that one opinion, and it's gonna like I have to accept that opinion. Everyone argues on that. The Tanya was taught in a brisa. If someone slaughters an Eily, a burnt offering sacrifice, and his intention is, while he's slaughtering, he's going to burn a kazayas of the skin that's under the tail. Now the skin that's under the tail is very, very soft, and it's not really skin, it's edible. And he has intention that he's going to burn that skin outside of the temple. So that's called chuslam kaimai. So the halacha is pasul. That's invalid. Ve'im by karis, but however, there's no karis there because that's the rule if you have chuslam kaimai. However, chutzlas manai, if he has intention to burn it outside its allotted time, means after the day. So then, after the day and the night, then that's pigel. And b'chayav and of karis. There's karis for that. The soul gets cut off. Very severe. Eliezer ben Yehuda ish Yivalim. Eliezer ben Yehuda from the place of Yivalim.
Is that proof to anything Rabbi Yochanan wants to say? Or?
Soon, it's going to be the proof.
Okay.
Amar, he says, Mishum Rabbi Yaakov, in the name of Rabbi Yaakov, B'chein haya Reb Shimon ben Yehuda. Reb Shimon ben Yehuda ish Ikos. From Ikos. Was from that city. Amar Mishum Reb Shimon. He says in the name of Reb Shimon, Echad ar beis process. They add in the skin of the hoof, V'echad ar aroish, shalegel arach, and also the skin of the scalp of a young calf. V'echad ar shal tachas alya, and whether it's the skin that's under the tail, v'chol shemanu chachamim gabi tumah, and anything that the sages said regarding tumah, that's considered food. Elu she'eris yem kibasarim, that these the skins is like the flesh. And what are we adding that in? Anything that the sages said regarding tumah, that the skin is like the flesh. L'havi ar beis habaishas, to include the skin of the uterus. Chuslam kaimai, all of those cases, since that skin is, all of those skins is soft and it's edible, we don't consider it like skin. Over there, if you have intention during the shechita that you're going to eat it or you're going to burn it outside its allotted place, that's possible. All of those skins outside of its time is pigel v'chayavan olav kares. That would be pigel, and there is kares, which means that what he's saying here is that you're quoting to me a Mishnah that says that the skin of the hoof is not really considered skin, and therefore you're asking, how could I say that skin could regenerate and save the whole animal from being a gluda, that is, the skin is peeled, because I have a Mishnah that says that Reb Shimon holds that skin is considered edible, that skin is considered flesh. So what? No one goes like Reb Shimon. The Tanakama over there said only the skin that's under the tail is considered skin that's edible, that's considered flesh. But the skin that's on the hoof, the Tanakama would hold, is not considered flesh. And therefore, according to the Tanakama, that skin would be considered regular skin. And so therefore, back to the treifa, if that skin was still the size of a coin, that would regenerate all the skin and it would be considered kosher. Okay. Happy Tu B'Shvat.
There's fruits there, everybody should take.